In this tutorial, we will explain how to set up page numbering for our document's front matter and chapter pages. ETD guidelines stipulate that pagination for the front matter should be in Roman numerals and formatted to the bottom center of the page. Chapter pages should have Arabic numbering formatted to the bottom middle of the page, while body pages should be formatted to the top right of the page. To create these different formats, we will need to create separate unlinked sections throughout the document. Before we begin inserting our section breaks for the front matter and chapter pages, let us begin by activating the Show Hide icon. You will find this icon under the Home tab and under the paragraph toolbox. It's right here, this little icon. So we'll click this and it will show us all the paragraph marks, right, that are hidden. So moving on to the dedication page, if you choose not to have a dedication page or acknowledgement page, you would go to the table of contents. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a new section for the dedication page all the way up to the first chapter, so that this will become section 2 and everything before it will become section 1. Okay, so to do this, I'm going to put my cursor right in front of the word dedication. I'm going to go to page layout, breaks, and I'm going to insert a next page section break, right? And so here you can see it. So now if I double click my the top here to activate the headers and footers, you're going to see that this is section 2 and everything before it is section 1, right? Okay. All right. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to make sure that for section 2, the box different first page is unchecked. Okay. We're going to leave that unchecked. And right here where it says link to previous, we don't want it to be linked to section 1. So what I'll do is I'll deselect that. And you have to do it for both the header and the footer. So I'm going to click inside the footer here, and I'll do the same thing. Okay. Yeah. And so the way that you'll know that it's been deactivated is that it will no longer be highlighted. Okay. So if I click anywhere in the footer or the header, I'll see it's no longer highlighted. Okay. So that's section 2. Next, we're going to go to chapter 1. And so we're going to make chapter 1 its own section, right? So the body is going to be its own section, separate from the front matter. So I'll put my cursor right here in front of the word chapter, or at the very top. And I'm going to click the page layout tab, breaks, and I'm going to insert a next page section break. Okay. Then I'm going to double click the headers to activate the header and footer tools. And then from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select different first page, right? So that our page number for the first page of a chapter will be bottom centered, and then the subsequent pages will be top right. Okay, so I'm going to make sure that different first page is checked. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to unlink section 3 from section 2, right? Because as you can see here, it says same as previous, and we don't want that, because for the body of your document, you're going to be using Arabic numbers. Okay, so I'm going to unlink that, right? And that's the header area. And once again, as I said, you have to do it for both the header and the footer. So I'm going to come here to the footer, and I'm going to deselect that as well. Okay. And then this is also saying same as previous. So I want to deselect this and deselect this. Okay. Okay, that's it for that. So the next step will be to move on to the next chapter. I'm going to put my cursor right here at the beginning, or I could also put it here as well. But I'll put it right here in the beginning. I'll go to page layout, and I'm going to create another section for chapter 2. So I'll come here, and I'll do a next page section. So this should now be section 4. Okay, and we have it as different first page, and we're good. Just leave the link to previous because the software should know by now, what we want, like how we want our pages to look, because we already set it up for chapter 1. Okay, so whatever we apply for chapter 1 is going to be automatically applied for chapter 2 and onwards. But we just need to make sure that the different first page box is checked. Okay. Alright, so I'll close that out, and then we'll just move on to the next chapter if we have one. For the demonstration, I only had 2 chapters, but if you had more, you would do the same thing for each chapter as far as inserting the section break. Okay, so now I'm going to go to my reference section. It's the same thing for the reference page. The first page of your reference is bottom centered, and then the subsequent pages are top right. So I'll put my cursor here. I'll go to page layout, breaks, and I'll insert a section break here as well. Okay, and then I'll double click to activate the header and footer and just make sure that different first page is checked, and then we can close that. And we'll do the same thing for the appendices, right? For each appendix, if you have multiple appendices, each first page of an appendix, you would create a section break for it. Okay, so I'll put my cursor here, page layout, breaks, next page section break. Okay, and I think that's it for this particular document. Okay, so now we can actually start putting in the page numbers. So what we'll do is we'll go right back to the very beginning, and in my case it was the dedication page. Okay, so this is going to be the start of our lowercase Roman numeral page numbers. So what I'll do is I'll navigate back, and then I'm going to double click inside the footers area because this is where we're going to be putting the page numbers. Okay, and I'm going to go to page number. I'm going to click format page numbers, and then under the number format I'm going to click this drop down arrow, and I'm going to select the lowercase Roman numerals. And for page numbering I'm going to start at 3 according to ETD guidelines. Okay, so we'll start it at 3, and then I'll go back to page number again while the cursor is still in the footer area, and I'm going to click bottom of page centered, right? And I'll select the option for it to be centered, and here's the page number, right? And you'll see that it's only applied to section 2. So section 1 will have no page numbers, okay, added. All right, here we go. And then for chapter 1, nothing is there. Perfect. So now for chapter 1, I can start putting the page numbers here. So we're going to start doing the Arabic numbers. I'll put my cursor in the footer area, go to page number, format page numbers. Okay, we're going to select Arabic numbers, and we're going to start it at 1. Okay, and press OK. We'll come back to page number, bottom of page, and select the option with the page number centered. Okay, so the page number is inserted at the bottom middle of the page, and as you can see, it's only for the first page. Now for the second page, I'm going to click inside the headers area, and then I'll go to page number, and I'm going to select top of page and select the option that is top right. Alright, so the number 2 appeared, as well as the subsequent page numbers. And as you can see, when we move on to chapter 2, it automatically puts the page number bottom centered for chapter 2, and then top right for subsequent pages. Same for our reference and our appendix. And that's it. That's how you would do it.